Hello, boys and girls, what's going on? It's Tom.
And it's Jamie. Welcome to the Chronicles of Podcast.
The Chronicles of Bloodstock 2023.
Hi, I'm Matt Davison from Repulsive Vision.
Most importantly, how are you?
I am great. I'm not hungover, surprisingly.
Oh, yeah. Massive win for the last day as well.
Exactly, I know, right? No, it's been great, honestly. It's such a great weekend. It always is here, you know.
Yeah. Perfect. I mean, have you been here since Thursday, or did you go?
I have, yeah, mate, yeah.
So how's your Bloodstock been?
Very hot.
Yeah.
No, honestly, it's great. Every time here, the people here are great. I always see so many friends. The bands here are awesome. It's just always the way it is, you know. Love it.
Yeah. No, that's perfect, man. How was the set yesterday?
Again, we couldn't have gone better. The response we got was incredible. I can't believe that so many people came out to see us, especially on the smallest stage, you know. The respect we've had since and everything, can't complain at all.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's one of those things, because obviously it's quite a family feel here at Bloodstock, so
it is.
Was it a packed crowd?
Very much so.
Amazing.
Very much so.
We'd love to see that. But with a Repulsive Vision gig compared to a festival set, do you change the setup depending on where you're playing? Because obviously not a lot of people might be aware of you guys here, so it's like, let's just play all the bangers and bring everybody in.
To be honest, I think that it's kind of more just we do what we do best, get the kind of energetic ones out, keep it quite tight, keep it quite intense, because there's nothing worse than having a slow one to ruin the vibe and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Keep the pitting vibe going, and that's why we kind of do it at festivals and gigs, really. Just keep it intense, keep the fillers for the album, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, us as a podcast, we are ambassadors for the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. Are you aware of the foundation and what they do?
Absolutely, and full support to them.
It's amazing, great to hear that. Obviously, Bloodstock and the foundation have this real close family tie. Obviously, the stage named after Sophie, the foundation are here every single year. Thursday, Friday, everyone dressed in pink. It's been amazing. Does that make playing at this festival mean that just a little bit more to you guys? Because obviously you're here, you're flying that flag for Sophie in a way.
Absolutely, we've all been Sophie. Not in a kind of literal sense, but we've always been that bullied people. I don't know anyone who is a metalhead who hasn't had that negative experience and that kind of abuse in the middle of the street. And I think that we all knew where that was coming from, and it was horrifying. It still brings a tear to the eye. I mean, we watched the documentary, the kind of biopic of it, and it's hard to watch because that could have been any of us.
Yes.
And it feels like it was us. It feels like it was us when it comes to the extreme of what's happened, and Bloodstock supporting the foundation and Bloodstock giving her name the longevity, even 10 years after it happened. Because again, I'm from the northwest, so Bacup isn't too far away from us. It's terrifying, and it's disheartening to see that there's that kind of hatred over something so minuscule as how someone dresses.
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact that people have embraced this love for her mother and the foundation, it's proved that there's life to it, and she's not died in vain.
Yeah, I mean, that's so important to say, because it is disgusting. It's horrible. It was 16 years on Friday, the initial attack.
16 years?
16 years, yeah. I was going to ask, you sort of covered it yourself there, but has there been a time where you've been treated differently just because of the music you listen to, the way you dress, whatever you want to be?
Well, I live in a small town, so that answers your question for you,
Yeah. We've had that answer a lot.
Being the only kind of goth in the village kind of thing, I've had it a lot. I mean, even walking down the street in a city or anything like that, you'd think with cities that there'd be a bit more respect for the alternative crowd. I do like the fact that in modern times, since alternative fashion has become so ubiquitous around the kind of pop world, it's become a bit more respected, but the actual listening of metal and all is kind of still frowned upon. It's weird. A lot of the kind of almost hip-hop scene has kind of embraced the metal sound and all this, with bands like Scarlord and all this kind of stuff being respected and open to a more kind of pop-centric, world. But still, we get the abuse. We still get shouted goth in the scene. We still get all the abuse. I mean, a friend of mine got punched only a few weeks ago for having long hair. You know, or get a haircut. I still get it in the street, and I'm in my 30s. You'd think that by the time you got out of your teenage years, it'd be done, but it's 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds that just can't embrace the fact that people are different.
Yeah. I don't understand it, I really don't. It is starting to get better, but you've just proven right there is still work to do.
Oh, completely. There's always going to be work to do.
Absolutely. But on that vein, I don't know if you've noticed this while you've been around Bloodstock this weekend. There's a lot of kids here. There's a lot of families here. It's amazing to see. I saw a mother snuggling a baby during Meshuggah yesterday. It was the most heartwarming thing I've ever seen. But what sort of advice would you give to not just those, but the foundation, when these kids are growing up and they become like us, and it happens to them, because unfortunately, because it isn't over yet, it probably will happen. They have these things said to them. What sort of advice do you think you could give those, or give the foundation as what they could do to support them?
Be yourself. That's basically the thing that I've struggled with my I've had low self-esteem for a lot of years and internalised it, when really we're just 20,000 people in here who have all had exactly the same imposter syndrome, thinking, why am I like this and not like everyone else? There are a lot of people who are, to an extent, closeted in the fact that they want to dress the way they want to be who they want, but they can't because of this tyranny, really, in modern society. I would say, be yourself, keep at it, stand up for yourself. It's not an easy thing when you have family members even, and people that you rely upon, even religious kind of strongholds and cults that kind of force you to be a certain way. Just stick to yourself. Not to mention, you don't have to look a certain way to be a certain way. You can be yourself without having to adhere to it. I have heard that a lot of times when I've been drunk in places, and they've been drunk, and they've said, you know, I love all the death metal and stuff, I just can't dress like it. I wish I could dress like you, and I can't. I said, you can. Just be yourself, you know.
You do find that a lot. Like, I used to have long hair halfway down my back, and I gave in to bullying, and I cut it off.
Yeah.
And part of me does regret it, but then part of me thinks, it was a nightmare to brush in the morning, I get it. It's fine now.
Well, I mean, nature's making the choice for me at this point. You know. But the long hair doesn't make the metalhead. The metalhead makes the metalhead.
Absolutely. But taking it back to you guys, this isn't your final festival of the summer. You've got Beyond the Grey Festival in November. How excited are you for that?
Very much so. Playing with one of my all-time heroes, Benediction. It's just going to be great. And to play on the main stage as well, actually get to play with friends of ours like Separation, and, you know, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, fair play. Sounds like a great lineup as well.
Oh, totally. You know, for a death metal fan, you have to get there. You know, we've got Malta Death Fest coming up as well. We're playing a gig. We're playing Desecration of the Grave in Milan in November, so that's going to be great as well. So
that's incredible. I mean, Necrovictology came out in 2020. Can we talk about what's next?
We've got another album coming up at the moment. We've got about 25 tracks written.
Oh, wow.
So the way we write is I'll write all the demos, kind of like I'll write a backbone, and then I'll send the demos to the band members. We'll kind of criticize them constructively, usually.
Yeah.
And then kind of pick and choose the best bits. We'll then rehearse them to death, to the point where it feels natural. It feels like it's the live song that just fits. Because once you've got one person's opinion, it feels very stale.
Yes.
I think that you can have one thing that kind of fits every single time, and it just it can get a bit lackluster. So getting my bass player is an incredible bass player. He's from the prog metal scene. Our drummer's from the Nwabum scene. So he's an amazing lyricist. We kind of add these extra bits that I couldn't have even thought of when I made the demo.
Yeah.
And that's how it comes. That's why it takes us so long to write albums. I'll get all these demos and then we'll just rehearse them until we feel that's the song that needs to go here, that's the song, until it flows really well. And I think that's why Necrovictology felt really natural, is that start to finish it just flows. So that's what we're hoping for the next one.
Amazing. Well, we look forward to it. Enjoy Tribulation.
Oh, thank you very
so much for your time. It's greatly appreciated, my friend.
And
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so
Great
much,
to meet you.
You too. Take it easy.
Cheers.